Hey guys, you're watching part 2 for how to make a skull. So if you're just getting into this right now and you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and click the skull right now to check out part 1 or check out the link in the description. But yeah, now we are going to be working on part 2 and we're starting with into the bottom, so we're decreasing into the back. But let's get our piece. Okay, so we finished our last round. I cut this black yarn because we don't need it any longer for right now. We're going to be single crocheting 1 in the next stitch, and then we're going to decrease 1. Okay, then we're going to do that one more time. So single crochet 1 in the next, and then decrease in the next. And how you decrease, I'm sorry, I should have told you the first one, is you pull 1 through the first loop and 1 through the next, and then you pull that same loop through both. So that's a decrease. So we're doing one more of those, single crochet 1 in the next, and then decrease in the next. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, so we have our decreases done. We've done 3 decreases. Now we're going to single crochet 1 in the next few stitches. So in this first one, we'll single crochet 1, but we'll go ahead and single crochet 1 in this one right now, really quick. Now we're working the front loops for this next stitch, the back loop. So right here, we're going to be working in that one. Pull a loop through. Now really quick before we continue, we'll grab our black yarn because we'll need a little bit more for our nose, like so. Now single crochet 1 in both loops in the next stitch. Alright, like that. Single crochet 1 in the next. Pull through with white. Now we're going to pull through our first loop with black into this next stitch. We're working in both loops again, by the way. And then pull through that with white, because we want the top loops to be white and the bottom loops to be black. We go into the next, pull 1 loop through black, 1 loop through white, and then work in both loops. We're going to make 1 white. Now we cut our black here because we won't need it any longer. Okay. Alright. So now we are going to be working in only the back loop for the next 2 stitches. And we're going to single crochet 1 in our last 2 stitches for this round. So we're only working the back loop. So that's 1, working the back loop again, and that's 2. Okay? Pretty easy. Alright. Okay, so we finished our last round. Now this next round is very, very confusing. I'm having a difficult time describing what I've done, so I've had to go back a couple times. But basically, we want to pull our loop kind of through a little bit because we're going to need a good amount of yarn and then cut it loose. So pull a bunch of yarn and cut it. Okay, we need a decent amount, not a crazy amount, but just some. All right, and we're also going to pull a little bit more and cut it loose for our thread. Okay, we need this for later to sew on the front. Basically, what we're going to be doing is doing another split with our that we did in the eyes here. Okay, so we have our yarn A, the same yarn we've been working with, and think of this as loop our yarn A. Alright, so now we're going to decrease in the next 2 stitches. So we'll pull through the one, pull through the next, and pull that loop through both. Okay, do that one more time. Pull 1 loop through, and then 1 loop through both. Now for this last one, we're going to pull a loop through right here, grab our thread B, go in, and now we're going to put it together like this. We're going to lock this, we want to lock yarn B in. So how we're going to do that is we're going to flip it under once. So now we have yarn B on top and yarn A on the bottom, and flip it through one more time. So yarn A is on top and yarn B is on the bottom. We're going to go to the next stitch, go into this one, and pull through both. Okay? Now we're going to go into the next loop right here, pull one through. We're single crocheting in this one, but we're going to do the same kind of thing we did here. So we're going to get 2 loops through the top. Now how we're going to do that is we have yarn A on the top again and yarn B on the bottom. And we're going to flip it under so yarn B is on top. Pull that through. Go back in like so. And pull through so yarn A is on top. So there we go. So our long loop here is yarn B and our short one is yarn A. Now I'm really sorry that sounded really confusing, but it's what you have to do for this next round. So I'm going to untangle this a little bit. Now we're going to make our teeth with yarn A. Okay, so let's leave yarn B to the side for right now. How we're going to do that is we're going to only be working into the front loops, not the back loops, for our next 8 stitches. We're going to single crochet 1 in each of the front loops for the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more is 8. Okay, pull that through. So you can see kind of we got our teeth going. All right. Put it down for just a second. Okay, so now with yarn, let's go back to yarn A for just a second. We can pull this through, all the way through. Okay, just like so. All right, now we're going to go, we'll go ahead and we'll cut this a little loose, or a little shorter because we don't need it this long. Put that over to the side. Now we'll go to our yarn B. Go ahead and pull it somewhat tight, but not too crazy tight. And we're going to be working into these bottom loops here. Now, we'll go to where we ended this round and count backwards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which is right here. That is the first one we're going into. Now we're going to decrease in each one of these back loops. So pull one through, and then one through the next. Okay? One through, and then one through the next. One through, one through the next. And then one more time. Like that. Okay? Now we're going to pull that loose-ish because we're going to sew on the front of his face now. So we're going to grab that thread that I told you to cut earlier and grab a little bit of a needle, thread it, alright, So this part can be also, again, a little confusing. We're going to go through the bottom, right at the bottom of the nose with it, like so. And don't pull it too tight, but not too loose. Okay, we're going to go around this front bar that we made when we went through the first black loop for the nose. We only went through the back loop, not the front loop. So now we're going around this front loop. Go around it once. Okay, and go into it again. Okay, now back through, we want to go through the right side of the nose and up through right here, which is the left eye socket and the corner of the eye socket. Okay? So now we made our nose. Now we're going to go around the front loop that we made right before our split in the eye socket. We only worked into the back loop on this one too. So now we want to work into the front loop. We want to go in it just like that, just like so. Okay? And then through, over this bit, and through into the bottom. Okay? Now we're going to go all the way around to our other eye socket. We're going to go in through the corner of the eye socket, pull through, and don't pull too tight because we don't want it squishing all together. Just a little bit. Okay, we're going to go through the top corner on this one, through that front loop, and then down through the top of that loop. Now, I know there's a lot of threads here and I know it's really confusing, but this makes a really good rounded eye socket. Okay, see how it's a little round on both sides? And we get a little bit more definition of the nose. Now let's get our threads in line here. So here is that end. Here are the two threads that we've just been using. We'll go ahead and tie these together. And cut it loose. We can put this away. We're done with that. Go ahead and kind of stuff those bits in. And now we have more of a defined features on the face. All right. So now we'll get to our mouth, or our very last couple stitches. Let's count around and make sure we have our right amount right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. On the inside we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now to finish our bit up, all we need to do is decrease in the last 2 stitches. So how we do that is we're going to pull one through this. We're working in both loops again. And before we continue, get our bit from our teeth over and sew it in. It'll save us the effort of sewing it into the piece later. Okay, oops, we didn't need to do that. There we go. Let's try that again. There. Let's flip it around to tie it in a little bit more. And we'll go into the next one to decrease. Pull through both. Okay, and that last one, pull through one, and pull through the next. Let's flip this around again. And let's pull this all the way through. You can cut it loose. All right, now all we need to do is stuff it and sew it closed, and that's very easy. I have a little bit of stuffing here. We don't need much. We have a half of a pencil. We'll stuff this thread in. And I'm really sorry if this pattern was really confusing. It's a confusing pattern in general to make. It's even harder to explain it. It took me a few tries, to be honest. So we're just gonna stuff this bit closed. So we can fit our finger in here. The smaller it is, the harder it is to stuff with your finger, but it looks like you can. Give a little bit more. All right. Looks pretty good to me. We'll grab our needle. And we'll thread it into thread our yarn into the needle. Okay. Now we'll count 3 over from the beginning. So that's 1, 2, 3. Go into the bottom here and go into our stitch we just made. And we're basically, this is just simple. You can kind of make this up even. You're just going around and sewing closed the bottom. Alright, there we go. I like to put it into a stitch over up here to hide it even better. Go back through the bottom. Okay, there we go. I'm really sorry if that was extremely confusing. It was, trust me, it was even more confusing for me. But we have a little skull now. And again, normally I make this with even smaller yarn right here. So it's kind of a bigger skull. So we have that done. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, I'm very sorry if this was confusing. It was equally as confusing for me. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys around.